Hi Kate, how are you?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, everybody. This is it. This is the place where it is happening. No question about it. Well, no doubt.
Did you get lost?
I've heard this is the place to be.
It could be.
Somebody said something about popcorn.
I know that was Troy's responsibility. It was the concessions, wasn't it?
Not this week.
Not this week?
Maybe you were coming. It's a room for you. What is this, recorder now?
Oh, yeah.
Did you call everybody?
No question about it.
Hi.
Sure.
Everything military. Absolutely. Recorded.
Mike, you need an agenda? Mike, you need an agenda?
Huh?
You want an agenda?
I got one.
Morning,
I'm already on Troy's
Hey, buddy,
list.
how are you?
All right, Troy.
Yes, sir. Did you get your Excel sheet finished?
Is it Monday? I'm not even sure I have all the data until the 31st. Is it then? I gotta hold it open until the 31st. That's the last day. Something could happen.
Do you work on it? No, no.
Who's a veteran here?
Sorry?
Who's a veteran?
Veteran?
Hanging in there?
Are you a veteran?
Sorry, I am.
Would you like to lead us in the flag salute?
You like that?
Sure, I got my stuff out.
Appreciate it.
Now I just need to tell me when the quiz is. What's this?
Yeah, I'm trying to get that very soon. Come on, okay?
$30. 30 seconds. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Please all rise. Ms. Galbraith, if we would lead us in the flag salute.
You want to pledge allegiance or flag salute, sir? Because they're different. Let's start with pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
We have moved to number 3, any citizen desiring to be heard. Seeing as how we have a lot of them here. Yes, Dan.
Mr. Chairman.
Dan Ladd.
Mr. Chair,
You
appreciate
being
you jumping me
recognized?
right to the front of the line there. I just wanted to let the commissioners know I sent in an application for being on the excise board, and it was brought to my attention that I'm on the jail board and I can't be on 2 boards, and so what I'd like to do is put in my application for the excise board. The jail board is really pretty much closing down, and so I would resign from that board upon my acceptance in the
I think we're going to be discussing that. Is that not an agenda item? thought-
I didn't get an agenda, sir.
Okay,
His reappointment to the jail board is on this agenda.
that's what I was, okay. All right, thank you, sir.
Let me ask you.
Mr. Commissioner?
Who put that on the agenda, that item 16?
It was sent to me, I believe by Cynthia.
Okay, just checking. Yes, sir.
I didn't know we was taking applications on the excise board.
I wasn't aware of that myself.
I wasn't as well, but the application's in there if we do decide to do something.
Good enough.
Number 4, consideration and possible action on approving minutes of January 15th, 2015.
I'll move we approve.
Copies of those?
I
Minutes?
emailed them out.
You got copies of those minutes here?
Yes, the
It's
ones that-
original.
Originals.
Okay, can I look at them, please?
Sure.
Thanks.
Commissioner, in the future, these are sent out on email. The board would very much appreciate it if you would check that out before. Send any corrections to our county clerk that might be needed so that we can proceed very quickly. Thank you, sir.
I move we approve.
I will second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
On to number 5, discussion with Eddie Foreman regarding the Central Oklahoma Workforce Investment Board. Sir?
Me. Commissioners,
morning.
how
Good
are you?
morning.
Logan County is part of an area that was designated as one of the counties involved in the workforce investment area from an act that was passed in '98. They all signed a consortium agreement because the act requires that local elected officials petition the governor to be designated as such a workforce area. It really depends on the commissioners, generally, how much involvement. Typically, it can be commissioners or it has been city officials, depending on who wants to sign, because it says any locals, elected official can be a member of the board. I don't know if you all have had a chance, and I'm sorry that I didn't get them here earlier, but I do have copies of the consortium agreement for you to see what exactly you signed in 2011. I can tell you that we administer money from the U.S. Department of Labor for employment training, and we have an office that we support here in Logan County. And our year starts in July, and in program year 13, which ended this past June, we'd served 96 customers and spent just on these customers $136,974.80. That means we paid for youth incentive payments. We fund programs for youth that can earn incentive payments. We also paid stipends for youth, but the majority of the money went to provide educational financial aid for most of those people in the amount of $130,000. And so far this year that we're halfway through, we've spent $86,455 on Logan County residents for employment training related programs. And we've served 86 clients year to date since July 1. It is an important part of our area to service Logan County. I mean, we consider it, we consider it such that, just so that you know how the funding's based, funding for the program is based on population. But when we sit down as a group, the Board of County Commissioners, the local board of elected officials sit down together, it's important regardless how much money the county brings in to that pot to make sure that county gets served. That's why we have 2 employees here and have an office up on Harrison, so it's important for that. I've heard that maybe there was a little question about the time involved for somebody to be on this. The Board of Local Elected Officials meets every other month, and it's generally an hour, maybe an hour and a half. I know it's not as convenient. We meet in the middle of Oklahoma City, 36th and Santa Fe at our offices. Commissioner Vaughn from Oklahoma County, Commissioner Stewart from Canadian County, and Commissioner Cleveland from Cleveland County are members of the local elected officials board. So they're all involved and have been. That's primarily the hour, hour and a half, every other month is primarily the time that's dedicated to this. Most everything else, all the information we supply by email, however it's gonna work. I will point out on page 3 that it does say that the county and the board elected officials under section E, that you can designate alternate or designate a participant if you like. So that's been done. Just in my time, I've been associated with this board for 10 years now, and we have had first deputies come into place, primarily when Jim Roth was commissioner of Oklahoma County. And sometimes he'd have his first deputy act in his stead, which is allowable by state statute as well. So that's not an issue. But we think it's important to have a Logan County represented on the board. We need their views. It's typically just a little bit more rural than some of the other areas we serve. We need to have their input as to what we allow. We make up a list of training, occupations demand on an annual basis. We need that kind of input from the local area as to what they think is important in their area, because economic development is part of what we're engaged in, is to have a skilled workforce. And we don't want to be training people in things or helping people learn skills they're not going to use. So it's important to have input from all 4 counties in our estimation. So I'll be happy. Yes?
Not.
Okay. And if you have any questions, I will tell you that every once in a while, the county commissioner, because local elected officials are fiscally responsible for the funds. We've not had any question costs since the board's been running that money for 10 years. I do have copies of our last audit if you'd like those. I can tell you that just to make sure that counties are protected, we not only carry a directors and officers liability policy, we carry a professional grant writers policy in case there were any question cost. But like I said, we've not had any cost question in the 10 years that the board has been acting as the fiscal agent for the group. And that's another thing I should mention. The board of local elected officials pick the fiscal agent, or the banker, if you will, for the funds. That's how it works. So that's another important role. And also the chief local, from the board of local elected officials, they elect a chief local elected officials who is who we coordinate with for anything that needs to be signed off on, because the local elected officials are involved in our annual plan. They're involved, we don't pick our own board members. Commissioners appoint board members. So it's an important role that's played by the local elected officials. Just want to encourage that if we might find somebody to start serving on the local elected officials board. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Who were the commissioners again that you have on there?
Cleveland,
Yes.
from Cleveland.
Yes.
Stewart from Canadian, and
Okay.
Vaughn from Oklahoma County.
Okay. All those sound like good conservative type of commissioners to me.
I would say that's true.
That is true?
Yes.
Sir. And what kind of success rate have you had in being able to train and get these people placed?
Well, most of the training, if we spend money, let me step back. There are several levels of how we interact with job seeker customers. One thing, okay. There are ones that we don't spend money on other than have an office to help them find a job. Now, we do that. But the ones we spend money on, the success rate is somewhere, if I remember last year's figure was 86% of those who went to training ended up in employment.
Well,
I can tell you the people that walk in the front door, which we're accountable for that as well, whether they get any money spent on them as other than staff costs, the placement rate for those people, everybody walks in the front door is 59%. So everybody walks in the door over the last 2 years, it's been at 59%, that's how many have been placed. Because we have people that frankly, you have a bigger demand for people who want to go to work right now, that because we can't afford to pay living expenses while they go to school. So we have a lot of people who's primarily interested in being able to transfer skills to another job. So
All right, I appreciate it.
I do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other discussion on this item?
I'm all right.
Good. On to number 6, consideration, possible action on appointing designate member to the local elected officials board of the Central Oklahoma Workforce Investment Board. This was tabled from our meeting January the 15th.
You like to do it, Martin?
No, sir. I already turned it down last time.
Well, maybe you had time to think about it. You like to do it this time?
No, sir. Turned it down last time.
It don't matter to me, Mike. If y'all don't want to do it, I'll do it.
Okay. I would nominate Monty Piercy to be on the Workforce Board, Investment Board, Central Oklahoma Workforce Investment Board. Second. You like your second?
He's gonna force me to do it. He knows I don't like doing it.
Yep.
You're not gonna say it? I'll second it,
Very good. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed?
Abstain.
Motion carries. Number 7, Logan County Emergency Management Director, monthly update briefing to the Board of Commissioners. Emergency management update briefing topics, fire districts, members, capabilities, equipment, points of contact, emergency management standard operating procedures, and emergency operations center.
Mr. Chairman, I asked for this to be put on the agenda. And David, I appreciate you showing up. This is just basically a briefing for the board. I recommend that we do this periodically, at least once a month, especially during fire season, to kind of keep up with what's going on and that sort of thing. So David, we talked about the agenda. It's